Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to review a game which was recently played between Grandmaster Gukesh Domaraju and Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi at European Chess Club 2025. So without further ado, let's start to review the game. So the game started with 1d4, to which Mr. Arjun replied with 1d5, knight f3, knight f6, g3, c5. Okay, c5 over here is a simple move. If captured, can be easily recaptured by queen a5 check. So bishop g2, c to d4, castles g6. Okay, so black over here doesn't need to protect this pawn because it can't be protected via e5 nor via queen b6, because via e5 it can be captured by knight e5, and if queen b6 is played, then it can be captured via knight d4. Yes, so that's it. So knight d4, bishop g7, c4. c4 is a simple move. It hits the center. Also, it frees up some squares for the queen, and this can't be recaptured because of queen a4 check, and it can easily be recaptured. So castles, c into d5, knight into d5, knight b3. Okay, white's plan over here should be to not exchange queens. So knight b6, similar structure. a4. a4 is an interesting move. Maybe it is a new move. Let's see, bishop e6, d8, a5. And you can see over here, this knight over here is hanging. So this should be preparation. So bishop into b3, a into b6, knight c6 we can see is a great move because it can't be recaptured because of this pin. Okay, so knight c6, just protecting this pawn over here, but I think bishop into c6 is coming. Yes, pawn into c6, and now rook into a7. Yes, so here you can see that the pawn was easily recovered, so there's no pawn down. And this pawn over here is a really weak pawn, so it will be recaptured sooner or later. Bishop f4. The idea is very simple. Because of this pawn, because this pawn is attacked, we are going to attack the rook. The plan is simple. If rook into b6 is done, then we have bishop c7. So that's why. So e5 was played in the game. Bishop g5, normal stuff. Because if just in case if he goes f6, we have bishop e3. So in the game, rook e8 was played. Rook e8 followed by bishop e3, which is the plan. So bishop f8, the plan is very simple, to bring the bishop along this diagonal, and also maybe put on d6 or c5, or maybe blockade with the c pawn over here. So knight d2, attacking the bishop, bishop d5, centralizing the bishop so it has access to more squares. Rook c1, rook d8 is an inaccuracy, as we can see. Uh, the point is bishop g5. Yes, bishop g5, and after, okay, rook d6 and bishop e3, rook d8, they repeated, and now knight c4 is a new move. And over here, he has blundered one pawn, knight into e5, and after rook into b6, knight into d7. So we can see over here it is showing is a great mistake. Point being, after rook d7, which was missed by Gukesh, it is very simple, because if he trades rook into d7, knight into d7, which didn't happen in the game, now we can see this, there is a fork coming over here. And just in case if he goes rook a6, we have, we can just take over here, knight into f8, king into f8, and bishop into c5. So this will be a really good position to play with, although it was missed. And just in case if you are wondering what happens to rook d6 or maybe rook c6, see, if we play rook c6, simple, knight into c5, king into c5, and now again rook into c5, and this leads to a major winning endgame. Also over here, there is one more move interesting. We can say this is rook d6. Okay, rook a6. So the game knight d7 was played. After knight d7, rook into b2, bishop g5, hitting the rook. Rook a8, knight f6. So here we can see knight f6, king here, and now we are winning the bishop. Yes. The point is simple. After winning this bishop, if he trades, we have this bishop f6 check, which was played in the game, and after bishop g7, we can go bishop into b2, bishop into b2, and rook into c5, where we have an extra pawn, and also there is no opposite colored bishop endgame, which was leading in major cases. So this is a great achievement. Now after king g2, e7, e4, f4, rook b2. Okay, so now this is difficult to convert, although it's a one pawn advantage. Over here, knight c3 is a huge mistake because of, okay, over here there was a major blunder done by Mr. Arjun Erigaisi, Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi. He should have played bishop into h2, which is a beautiful line. The main problem Arjun didn't think of this is because of knight e2, and now the bishop is trapped. But we have a beautiful resource, king e7, and after king f3, we have this beautiful move, h4. The point is very simple. He has to take g into h4. If he doesn't take, then we just go over here, king g2, and then bishop g3. So he has to take g into h4, and after king e6 and king f5, king g2, we have this beautiful bishop into f4, knight into f4, king into e5, and this is a drawn endgame after some moves. So this was missed by world number 4 Arjun Erigaisi. So after king g7, knight e2, bishop e6, h3, bishop a5, f5, and now Gukesh didn't have a problem converting this endgame into a win. Over here, after king h7, we can go king f6, and now if it goes king g8, we are simply going to take this pawn and afterwards take this pawn. So king h6, and now we can either go e6 or we can go king f7. So e6, g5, e7, h4, queens, and queen h8. So over here, what if he goes king f7? King f7, we simply have to go king h6. King e6, king into g6, king into e5, king into h5, and it is a very simple endgame to win with a single pawn advantage. So that's the game. So please like, share, and comment.